The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at with your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Loren. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Good afternoon, my furry little friend. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm well. You?
Wade and Shane here. I'm just doing just dandy.
I'm gonna get a haircut tonight.
Are you?
Yep.
Are you like on a level of 1 to 10? How excited are you?
9.
See,
no, wait. Wrong
9.
way. 1, 2.
Holy smokes.
I don't like getting my haircut.
How do you go from a 9 to a 1?
Well, I misunderstood the scale.
How do you misunderstand the scale? Have you ever had a scale
You
where it's like
asked
on a
them-
rating of 1 to 10 where 1 was the best thing?
Have you ever...
Come on, buddy.
Have you ever put the question in your head before the person finished asking it?
Oh, yeah, I do that frequently. So you did that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fine.
I was like, I thought you knew that I didn't like getting my haircut. And so
I didn't know.
I assumed that you were going to be like, so how much do you hate getting a haircut? And I was like, 9.
Do you wear your... Oh, I see how you're... I see. Do you find that you wear a hat a lot more when your hair starts to get longer, and when you get a haircut, then you start doing your hair a little bit more?
I wear a hat all the time.
I do too, but like I refuse to wear my hat, like not wear my hat unless it's like a fresh cut.
Like
that
when you're
first week,
Yeah, first.
fine. The problem is I only get a haircut every like 4 to 6 weeks.
So that's what's about to happen. I'm about to go into a week of not wearing a hat.
Right.
And so.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna be at WRLA. You got meetings and stuff.
So I can wear my
Backwards
hat?
Hats. Those meetings is like.
No, I can wear my hat in the meetings. That's fine because everybody there knows who I am, right? It's like they know me. But when you're walking around on the floor and you're a board member wearing a board member jacket,
Sure.
and you're supposed to be meeting vendors that are, yeah. Anyways, so then what happens
Well,
is
maybe
I
they'll
walk
want
up,
to join your club because
Right.
it's super hip.
I walk in and I have no backwards ball cap, but I still swear like I always do. I still tell the stories that I tell, and they're like, "Well, that guy's funny. He should be wearing a backwards hat."
Yeah,
Like he
you walk
talks
in, sup losers, and like didn't see that coming from the guy with his hair did and the sport coat on.
But
But
did his hair.
Wado, are you ready for a little bit of would you rather's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather go to the store and end up always buying 10 things you don't need, or always forget the one thing that you did need?
Isn't that how people grocery shop?
It's how I grocery shop.
I was like, would
both,
you rather?
thanks.
Would you rather? It's like, oh boy, I already lived that life.
My reality is both right now. Yeah.
I go there and I walk out with Fruit Loops, which were never on the list.
Yeah.
But
So
I like Fruit Loops.
that's the question. Which one would you rather fix? Always getting the stuff you were supposed to get
No, I'm okay
100%
with it.
of the time, or being able to like resist buying crap you don't need.
No, I'm okay with like forgetting the thing.
You're okay going back?
I don't hate grocery shopping. It doesn't bother me.
Does it matter? Where do you grocery shop?
So like I used to shop at Costco all the time,
Yeah.
but now I don't because I don't I just can't drink 50 liters of milk. It's not
Sure.
It's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
Or like when you buy a bag of peas, it can't be 2 pounds of peas. Like I can't eat
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
I travel around. This is silly, but I'm not loyal to a store. So I go, like I shop at like those like little Mike Independents.
Okay.
I've been to there, and then I've done Save On. And then last week I went to Superstore just because I was like, well, I haven't been to Superstore in forever. I should go try that out. So I went there. I used to be a lot more regimented, but now I'm like a free spirit and I get to like try all these different grocery stores.
What a life. I'll be honest. I didn't expect a giant answer to that. I thought it was going to be like Walmart.
Oh yeah. I used
End
to
of
shop at
answer.
Walmart. I don't like
where do you
shopping
get your
at Walmart.
groceries? Well, let me tell you.
I shop everywhere. So I hated shopping at Walmart for groceries. It's the worst.
Okay.
It's not in the right order. The produce is pure shit.
Yeah.
It's the worst produce of anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Except the dump.
It's discount produce.
But even at the dump, it's probably a little bit better.
Because it's free at least.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Costco's
Same
got the
quality,
best.
less price.
Yeah, Costco's got the best produce. And then probably like the Save On chain or like that group. And then the Superstore group. after
Okay.
that. That's my think.
Okay.
That's my think on that.
So I also don't mind grocery shopping, but mine comes with a caveat because I actually enjoy going to Costco. So when my wife's like,
Me too.
can you run to Costco? I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Like, I don't care. I'll go put my earbuds in and listen to a podcast for an hour and a half and stroll around at my own pace and grab
Yep.
shit and grab the stuff I don't need and whatever else. I don't mind Costco. Even when it's busy, I don't mind it. I hate going to Superstore.
Why?
I don't know. Because they're not similar, but they're kind of similar. But
You know what I don't like about Superstore?
Superstore is all the bad from Costco with none of the good. That's why I don't like it.
You have to pay to get the cart.
That too. That
bugs
pisses
me.
me off.
Who has a loony
Do you ever
anymore?
bring a freaking loony?
I
And
did
so
the other day because I knew I was going there. I was like, I'm going to go check this place out. Oh, yeah, I need a loony.
My wife's smart because she at some point was given or bought one of those like the President's Choice coins. It's the shape of a loony that's just for the carts, right? It's just maybe you
Okay.
don't know about this, about to change your life, but she just keeps that on like a keychain, so she always has it. But I don't have one because I hate the place. And so when I go there, she's like, "Can you swing by Superstore?" She's like, "Oh, I don't like going to that one. I'd rather go to Walmart. I really would."
Oh, yeah, not me.
But
Nope.
she's like, "Go there." And so then the first thing I do is like, fine, I make peace with the fact that I'm going to Superstore. Then I park and I'm like, rage all over again. I forgot I needed a coin for this place. This is one of the reasons why I hate this place. So what do? You go inside and you have to get a frickin' make change at the customer service and go back outside to get your cart. So I'm already pissed off before I even get in there.
Yep.
And then you get in there and it's just gigantic and busy and like there's nothing redeeming about it. Then you get to the freaking checkout and they don't bag your groceries and they don't have bags anymore. You have to bag your own crap. You have to push the button to make the conveyor thing go like,
Oh, no, you don't have to push that button. I don't do that. If it piles up too much, they'll push the button for you.
fair enough, but you're still bagging it all yourself. And now you got to,
The bag thing is, I think that's local. No bags. The no bags thing is local. Saskatoon is still like wild up there.
well, because City of Regina had the ban on
Plastics.
single-use plastics not too long ago. So it could be very much localized to here.
Yep.
But regardless, it's, but no, okay, so maybe that's not an issue anymore, but they never bagged your bags.
Yeah, they never bagged your groceries, and that's okay. That's
Even when everybody else was bagging them in their plastic bags,
Yeah.
Superstore was like, no. And they
Bagger.
always charged for the bags before everybody else charged for bags too.
that's right.
That was the other piss off.
That's a good business, man. You think about that from the other side. You're on the wrong side.
This is supposed to be a mutually beneficial
You
relationship.
stand on the other side. It's like you're making money on bags, and you don't have to pay that bagger employee. So profitable. So I respect the decision. I don't like it, but I respect it. I understand what they did. They have the best like international foods by a long shot. It's not even close.
I'll give them that. They have a pretty good international food section.
And so
But
one of the recipes that I printed off at the start of the week for food was I was going to make a coconut curry shrimp soup.
wow.
And so I had to go there because they have coconut milk and they have like better curry selection and shiitake mushrooms. Like everything was better there.
Yeah, the selection from a grocery perspective is probably better there than anywhere. It's huge.
Okay.
That's not my issue. My issue is not the selection. I just don't like the place. I can't really explain all of why.
Is it because of the color yellow?
I'm not a
like
huge fan of
yellow.
the color yellow, especially when paired with green. So there you go. And then they put a red maple leaf on things, and it's like those colors clash. Out of my life.
There you go.
Now.
It turns out marketing is a huge factor. You
It
won't
is.
shop there because the colors are wrong.
But you know what? I do prefer to go to Co-op between Co-op and Walmart.
I would
It's like-
never shop a co-op.
Oh, see, and the one in Harbor Landing
Cost too much.
is
money.
actually really nice. And see, that's okay. If I'm going for a bunch of things, fine, I'll go to Walmart. But if my wife's like, can you stop by and pick up
one thing.
I would way rather go to the Co-op and spend a little bit more than to go to Walmart and get that one thing. It's just a better experience all around. Cleaner store, it's a nice store, everything's nice. It's like, yeah, it might cost a little bit more. You can get in, you're not in a huge lineup at the end. Like, it's just better.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to answer that myself, from a disciplinary, like the right answer here is I would rather fix the 10 things I don't need because that costs you a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's how you end up with nibs.
Right.
And that's
Point proven.
joy. That's joy.
Can be joy, yes. But anyways, that's not something that I like. A phone call. Who phones me in the middle of a podcast recording?
Somebody
Do
phoned me
these
too.
people not know?
They're obviously not on YouTube. I'm trying to be on YouTube, but I can't. It won't load for some reason.
That's just you. So I think I would rather fix the 10 things I don't need. Because when you go to Costco and you buy 10 things you don't need, that's like $180 of shit.
When it's Costco.
And I'm there every week or every other week. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like going back there to grab the one thing I missed would be way cheaper than buying 10 things I don't need.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you rather work an overtime shift with an annoying boss or spend a full day with your mother-in-law?
So I would have done the mother-in-law.
You would have chosen to spend the day with mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like my boss.
End of story.
No, I don't. Yeah, like who wants to work more?
It's overtime though.
You get paid for overtime.
This is a weird
It's been
question
a
for
long,
us.
long
Like-
time since I got paid for overtime.
Yeah. I would have no problem spending the day with my mother-in-law because I like her.
Yeah.
She's fine.
So.
I enjoyed spending time with her. So
Yep.
that's not a hard one for me. And I've also
Could you imagine being in a relationship where your mother-in-law was so awful?
yeah.
Like even
Like
even in your
stereotypically bad.
yeah, like even in your previous one.
Yeah.
That mother-in-law was great.
I've never had a mother-in-law issue.
Ever. But like there's some people that have like real issues with their mother-in-law.
Yeah.
That's-
Mhm.
Could you imagine?
Not a good situation.
No.
I'm actually fortunate. I don't know that I've had too many annoying bosses either.
Yep.
I've had some annoying. That's not true. I'll take that back.
Okay.
I just thought of somebody.
Who?
So, well, I'm not gonna say it. So I would absolutely like now that I've thought of that, I would absolutely rather spend a day with my mother-in-law. Would you rather find a rat in your kitchen or a cockroach in your bed?
Rat in the kitchen.
Yep. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The idea of having, it doesn't have to be a cockroach, spider, any insect, like there's some, isn't it weird how we're okay with some insects, but not others?
Uh-huh.
Like if I found an ant in my bed, I'd be like, no big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Ladybug, I'd be like, it's cool.
Maple bug.
Don't even mind those.
Okay.
But what, are you saying you hate them or like them?
No, that was
No,
just a bug.
indifferent.
You were talking about it. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Maple bugs, they're fine. I don't care. If there's maple bugs crawling inside the house, it's like, half the
Squish.
time the kids, yeah, or they throw it outside. Or it's like a ladybug for sure. Everybody's got this like thing for ladybugs. But if it's a spider or a cockroach or some sort of like little weird beetle, people are all freaked out about it.
yeah.
But anyways, I don't want to sleep with insects in general. I'm not scared of rats or mice. They don't bother me.
Okay.
So I would even take the rat in my bed probably before the roach in my bed.
Ooh.
I'm not grossed out by rats or birds. I get that some people are, like rats and mice and birds, rodents. They're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, they don't bug me.
They don't bug me. If I was sitting here and a mouse ran across my foot, it would bother me 0%.
Like I would react.
It might startle you if you didn't
Yeah.
know what it was, but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, and up on the chair and be like, there's a mouse in here. I'm not one of those people at all. My mom with birds is hilarious. She's like,
Really?
she's crazy in the head about birds.
Oh yeah, you should take her
They
to Times Square.
freak the shit out of her.
You should take her to Times Square. Pigeons everywhere.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Times Square years ago. I don't remember that was like 25 years ago. but-
Take like a piece of bread, put it on a string, and then clip it to the back of her shirt. And then,
So weird.
oh my goodness.
Take her on a cruise. We were talking about
Right,
this not too
right,
long
yeah.
ago. You've done a cruise.
I've done a couple, yeah.
But were they more northern? Were there seagulls on them? Like what I've experienced? Or
Yeah,
no?
so it was different than that. I don't remember that we had boat birds.
Yeah. So I've only been on 2 as well, but they're both like tropical destination. Where have I been? Tropical. Oh yeah.
You were in Hawaii.
And then one off the coast of California that went down to Mexico. But I think both of those had these like flocks of seagulls that they lived in the boat. They were
Yeah.
way too far from land to fly back.
That's what you were saying.
So they live in the boat and they eat what you don't eat, or sometimes what you do eat. But the funniest thing is like when you're eating outside and somebody will get up from their table and like you leave your plate there behind for the host or the busboy or whatever to clean
Yeah.
up. And like they don't get a chance. The second somebody's like pushes their chair back, the seagulls are all like
To the rail.
like just eyeball it. And then the second you start to stand up, and they know they're competing with 70 other seagulls. So it's just like, go time, be the first one there. It's just a horror movie scene of
Melee.
like shit flying everywhere. So it's so funny. I baited them one time. I was like, you can eat this? Nope. Sounds good. Slid it to the edge of the table. I was like, watch this. Get up. But yeah, we watched somebody one time that like went and got all their food from the buffet table, came back, sat down, realized they forgot to grab like condiments or fork or something, got back up to go grab that real quick. It's like a 15-second walk away. I was like, gets up, walks away. It's just like swarms of seagulls. And they came back. They're like, Oh my God. We're like, yeah, first day on the boat, son. Like,
Yeah.
that's funny stuff. Anyways,
So good.
rat in the kitchen.
Rat in the kitchen.
So today we're talking about the top reasons to plan your deck project early. It's January, 12th today-ish?
Give or take.
11th, 12th?
Mid-January.
12th, could be 13th. Not real sure. And so now, like Fraser was saying, it was like there's people walking in downstairs, kind of
Really busy
right now. But
Yeah.
so some people every year will start to get ahead of the game. Most people do not. Most people wait till the sun's shining and it's deck weather before they start thinking about their deck project,
Like,
which is a giant mistake.
I point this way because as if anybody
Yeah, I
else
see
knows
what you're
what's going
pointing
on.
at, that chair or maybe my empty coffee mug over there.
So we just had a conversation with two fine gentlemen yesterday or the day before. Who knows? They all run together about the idea of building a deck in the wintertime. And he was just like, no, like you always build your deck in like May, you start May long weekend. I was like, why wouldn't you build it in the winter so you could drink on May long weekend as
Yeah.
opposed to work on May long weekend? He was just like, I blew his damn mind.
Yeah. And he's like, well, yeah, but like it would cost more to build in the winter because like the contractor would charge more, whatever. And we're like, no, actually it's, they probably charge the same. Like maybe some do, I don't know. But like the ones down here generally aren't charging more. They charge the same, but he's like, yeah, but then you got to pay more for this. Like, you're going to save a lot in the materials.
Yeah.
No, really? Why would that be? Because it's the end of the year and we're trying to get things off the books before December 31st. You come shopping in end
November.
of November, early December, you're going to get the best deal of the year.
I'm as flexible as you've ever seen.
Well, I've never thought about that before. Jeez. And by the end of the conversation, he's like, I kind of want to build this right now. And it's like, hey, there's lots of good reasons to. So,
Yeah.
obviously the weather is not ideal, but it's like, it doesn't have to be. If you're not building it yourself and you're hiring somebody to build it, then what do you care what the weather is?
I think you got him when you were talking about the dormant landscape. It was like no flowers,
That too, yeah.
grass is fine.
Nobody's
Yeah.
trumping. What am I trying to say? Trampling. There it is. Wrong vowels. I was trying all the other vowels. Trimpling, trampling, stomping. Anyway, start planning early, and here's 5 reasons why this is not a bad idea. Budgeting. Planning for it early allows for you to not only kind of like get a more accurate budget together, but also gives you a chance to save if you need to before the project might be starting in the spring or the summer.
Yeah, and I think the budgeting one is a really good point because I would say that the majority of people that come through here to build a deck don't really know what it's going to cost.
Right.
And that's like self-admitted. You know, we ask them, it's like, what's your budget? And they're like, I don't really even know. I don't know what it costs to build a deck. I was like, okay, well, let's get started. Because it might take you a month to even get the shape of the deck figured out.
Right.
You know, you might think that you're doing a 30 by 20, and then that comes back at $41,000, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay, well, maybe we'll have to chew this off in stages. Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
So the budgeting, it's important to sort of spend those first 2 weeks in the middle of the winter figuring out what that even looks like. So
Well, and then you have more time to tweak it too if you want. Like
Yep.
if you show up and you're like, we need to build a deck like right away because there's something going on.
I
in
got a
our yard
wedding
or
in June
something.
1st, and it's like,
It's like, and then the first quote back comes back and it's not where the budget needs to be. Like at least now you can stress free, see what your options are, adjust your budget,
Yep.
take things out if you need to, add things in if you want to.
Yep.
More time to just massage things without the stress of the impending construction start date happening right now.
Yeah, wild.
Material selections.
Yep.
This is another thing that just takes time sometimes.
Because typically you're going to have to take samples, go home, set them by your house, let them go through a 1 or 2 day cycle. Does it look in the morning, afternoon, evening? And then inevitably you've picked the wrong color. Then you come back, you do it again. It doesn't take long, but it takes a week by the time you've actually gone through this whole process.
Yep.
So
It also gives you a chance to research the options that are out there. You may have, most people are going to walk into this thing being like, yeah, I want one of them composite decks. Composite decks. Trax decks. I want one of them Trax decks. Give me one of them Trax decks you got going on there. And so to you, that might mean like, yeah, I want one of them gray Trax decks. But then you show up here and it's like, it's not gray Trax deck. There's like 5 brands and there's a bunch of grays. And it's like, well, what's the difference?
And it's called Foggy Wharf, you silly fool.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, I can frame this out of like pressure treated or steel, or there's like different ways to frame something, or there's different like types of rail. It's like, I don't know, there's different types of rail, there's different infills to the rail. And it's like, there's some decisions to be made about the materials that you want to use, and you might need a little bit of time to research it.
Yep.
Or learn about it at the store, or learn whatever. And so that takes some time. All of a sudden you thought you were building the deck this weekend. Turns out you need 2 weeks just to kind of like figure out what you even want to use on the deck.
Yeah.
And then this leads into number 3, which is the design decisions. Same thing. This gives you more time to make those decisions around the size and the shape of the deck, or the style, or whatever else too. Kind of the same idea, but this is more around like, maybe you just thought deck is like this, because that's how all decks I've seen are like that before.
Yep.
But you show up here and it's like, oh, I never thought about doing a pergola or a privacy wall on this thing. And I didn't realize that you could make a deck that wasn't just a square or a rectangle. I didn't realize I could have multiple tiers. I didn't realize I could curve it if I wanted to, or have
that
angled corners. Or
I'm not allowed to cover that window that it used to cover.
Sure. Yep.
Right.
Or I wanted to build it where I now find out I can't, because there's a gas line there, or a gas meter there, or a setback or something, or an easement or whatever. It's like, those surprises are fine when they happen ahead of time and you're not on a schedule.
That's right.
But if they happen on a Thursday and you're planning on building on a Saturday, that presents a big problem.
Yep.
Scheduling is another big one that we want to talk about here. So scheduling, if you're building it yourself, scheduling is a little bit easier to do. But if you're building it with the contractor, then this is even more important. But the earlier you get in, the earlier you get in. So if you start calling contractors in January or even September, your odds of getting this thing built in the spring are much better than calling them in May.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people do, is they call in May. And they're like, hey, want to get a deck built? And they're like, sounds good. And they're like, yeah, we were hoping to get it done the first week of June or May long weekend. And it's like May 15th.
Yeah, that's not
And
happening.
the contractor's like, of this year?
I'm booked to August already.
Oh, it's not happening in May of this. No. No. Like, I'll put you on the wait list, but so it just ain't happening. If you start planning now in January, there's a pretty good chance you can still get this thing built in spring.
Yep.
Like, depends on the contractor. Some will be booked up already, but there'll be many that aren't. If you're building it yourself, it's also easier now to plan it around other events that are going on in your life. You're not rushed to try to get it in here and there. If you got something going on in June, get everything out of the way now, so you can schedule to start building on May long weekend if that's when you're going to do it yourself.
Do you remember in 2020 when, maybe it wasn't 2020.
I've tried to forget that entire year.
Maybe it was 2021 when people were coming in early and they were
That one too. I blocked that one out too.
and people were paying for decking, and they were in here in January and February and like actually giving us money.
Oh yeah, that
And
was
they're like-
2021. Yeah.
And they're like, I'm giving you money because I want material. I realize it's going to be hard to get. And we were sitting here being like, we don't have it. It's not in the yard. We don't know when it's coming. I can't promise you anything. And they're like, that's okay. I just want to be on the list.
Yeah, we had a huge early spring.
That was
Not even weather-wise too, but more driven out of like the fear of what COVID had created, which was this, you never know when you're going to get materials.
Yeah.
And like,
and
are
then
they available, and what's the price going to do? And it's like some panic buying happened for sure, even in this industry.
Yeah. So we had people that were planning a long ways out. They were in here in January, February.
Yeah.
Being
Which
like,
is what you should do even when there's not a pandemic.
I want this
causing
for
hell.
like, I'm hoping I can have it for May. And I was like, me too.
Yeah. I'm also hoping you can have it in May.
So.
And finally is the whole permitting thing. So maybe you're one of those people who thinks they're just going to skip that step. And if so, fire away. Go ahead in May and try to get something. Anyway. But this takes longer than anybody thinks it's going to that doesn't have experience with it. So a lot of people think like, oh, do I need a permit? And then what? I just go down to the city and take them a napkin drawing my deck. And then they just like, yep, sounds good. Go do it. And it's like, no. Some places, like in rural Saskatchewan, for example, maybe it is a couple days. If their best bet, a couple days.
Yeah.
Pretty rare in the cities. In the cities, you're lucky if it's 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of places are months. You get some kind of busier areas, bigger cities with a more complex project. You might be 4 to 6 months. So that can screw away your entire summer.
Each city is a little bit different too, right? So we've heard of, you get some cities in Alberta that you have to have some manufacturer specs for the products you're putting down. It's like they want to know the combustion rate of your deck board. And
Yeah.
Like that's not the case here, but
Oh no, I'm not planning on burning it. No.
yeah, exactly. But anyways, it's wild because you get into that and maybe your vendor or your supplier or whoever you're purchasing material from hasn't ever answered that question before. It takes them 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Because you're in spring and you're not the only person that has asked for this. Others have.
Your permits are good for 2 years.
Yeah.
So get it in now. And maybe, so just the process of getting it returned, having it looked at, stamped, approved, and returned takes time. What if you didn't design it properly to be built properly and it doesn't pass?
Now you got to make some changes.
Now you're starting over and you're doing revisions and stuff. Better to do that now. Start it in January. Get that first revision in. If it passes, great. You have it back in February. When April rolls around, whenever you want to start it, you're ready to go.
Yep.
Nothing happens to it. It's not going to expire. You have a couple of years.
Yep.
So that's okay. But what really sucks is when it's like, bring it in, drop it off at the city on May 6th because you want to build it on May 18th. And they tell you it's like, oh, it's 2 to 3 weeks out to get this back if it's all good. And you're like, no. Well, like that puts me after May long. I have to build this May long. Best of luck, but that's unlikely to happen. And then like you get a call on May 14th and they're like, actually, the way you've specified this is not code approved. You're going to have to revise this. Okay, can you just put that down there? No, you have to come down and make the revision and then resubmit it.
Back to the bottom
All
of
of a
the
sudden,
pile.
you're end of June.
Yeah.
Like 2 revisions later, you end of June. So that can throw a lot of havoc into your scheduling.
Not
To
good.
go back to the one before
Yeah.
to get it done. So like just get that part out of the way earlier the better.
Yeah, because there might be some stuff that you don't even know. You might be over an easement. That happens.
100%.
You'd have no idea where the
Which
easement
may
is.
change the entire design of the deck.
Yeah.
You maybe thought this thing was going to go 14 feet out, 20 feet wide. Turns out you're only allowed to go 8 feet out.
Right.
Oh,
Now what?
well, if I'm going to go 8 feet and I want to like add a patio down below, or I want to like make it wider, then I want more room or something. Or maybe I'm going to put it on the side of the house instead of the back of the house or whatever it is. Right?
Yep.
Can change a lot of things. So it's good to get those things ironed out. Anything else to add to that, Wade? That was a good little list of why to plan. And so
Not really.
like people, it's weird to think of it right now when there's snow on the ground. But if you're like, we're open, if you're in Saskatchewan, you're going to be doing a deck here. We're open all year round, which you might not think we are, but we are.
Yeah. Good
Monday
plug.
to Friday. Stop in or go to our website or message us or whatever, and we can start helping you right away. Contractors, even if they don't physically build decks all winter long, they're still booking up their calendar doing business things. They're still available to phone. And some of them do work all year round. So wouldn't that be fantastic if you did phone them now and be like, I want to plan for May to get my deck done. And they're like, well, I've actually got an opening in February. Want to do it then?
Well, and it turns out it's not a super complicated thing.
I might as well, I guess, do it in February. Then it's ready to go. Sure.
Good.
So lots of benefits to starting early. There's very little drawback. Like more well planned you are, the better off you are, in my opinion.
And that's the only one that matters on this podcast.
That's right.
Really, you just like you got the mic and the buttons.
Right.
So.
And here's this fantastic button right here.
What's
Wait,
this?
look.
Oh, it's
Thanks for
over.
tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week. See you down at IBS. Hit us up if you want to meet while we're down there. Peace
Hey,
out.
thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.